Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
This morning on GMSA, the entire NFL is getting ready to show its support for injured Buffalo Bills safety Demar Hamlin. We'll look at what the league has planned for later today.
Back here in San Antonio, firefighters worked to put out a house fire overnight. We'll look at what happened in just a few moments.
And taking a look outside with CityCam, the lights are twinkling. It's 55 degrees. We'll be checking in with Sarah and see how the weather's going to be holding out for today.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. It's good to be here again at 6 o'clock on Sunday, January 8th.
Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being with us again, Jonathan. Always
Thank you.
a treat.
My pleasure. Filling in for Max.
We have this inside joke, Jonathan and I, that we're siblings because we like to say that we favor each other.
I think so.
I think I just want to favor Jonathan Cotto because he's so handsome.
Oh, thank you. No, you're beautiful, Sarah. So it's a compliment either way.
Well, happy you're here, and Sarah, happy that you're back.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a nice few days off there. We went up to Dallas for a wedding. That drive, though, that 5-hour drive.
Just long enough.
It could be long enough. And we did run across some showers as we came closer to San Antonio. You know, most of the rain, though, overnight has been southeast of San Antonio, closer to the coastal plain. In fact, that's where we've got some showers right now and some storms pushing into Victoria County, just to the northeast of Victoria there, and in southern Lavaca County. Also through Cuero, we're seeing a shower as well right now. No severe weather with these, although quite a bit of rain fell across our southeastern counties. I'll be showing those rainfall estimates coming up in just a bit. But here in San Antonio, we are continuing to see just beautiful weather. Today, we'll see a lot of sunshine, unlike yesterday when it was pretty cloudy. Today, sunshine in the forecast for us, high temperature of 72, low humidity, northeast winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. All in all, a beautiful day, but we could desperately use some rain. I'll take a check of the drought monitor and, of course, show you where most of the rain fell in the overnight hours. Coming up in just a bit. Jonathan, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Now to some late breaking news in the last few minutes. A fire just south of downtown on Provan Street.
Our Alyssa Cole is live at the scene of Bill Miller's restaurant. So, Alyssa, what do you know so far?
Yes, Sarah, just like you mentioned, I'm outside the Bill Miller's here on the south side of San Antonio on Probant, right near I-10. I'm going to take a step aside so you all can see this scene is still pretty active. We got a chance to speak to fire crews, and they tell us it was a very small fire. You can see them working inside the restaurant. Come to find out, it was just a small fire inside of an oven. No one was injured, and there's no damages inside the building, so crews responded very quickly, and 8 engines came out as well. There's a few people standing outside of different businesses around this area, maybe wondering what's happening out here, but we have learned that there are no threats, and everyone is safe in this area. The fire did not spread to any surrounding businesses. It's already clearing out, as you can see right now, so anyone watching this newscast, just know there's no threat to this area. Back to you all.
Thank you, Alyssa. Well, new details this morning on the search for a suspect accused of shooting and killing 2 people. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say it happened on the county's west side Friday night. So far, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has not identified those victims. Deputies responded to the scene Friday night around 9:30 on Calle Fincias near Highway 90 in WT Montgomery. The 2 victims were found shot and died at the scene. BCSO identified them as 24-year-old man and a 38-year-old woman. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call BCSO at 210-335-6000.
We also have new information on a deadly stabbing from Friday night. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says the victim was a 41-year-old man, but they're still working to confirm his identity. The stabbing happened after 8:30 p.m. on North Pine Street. That's not far from North Hackberry Street and I-35 frontage road on the city's east side. San Antonio police say the victim was in a car with 3 others when an argument broke out. Police say 2 men got out and started fighting. The victim was stabbed in the chest. Police say he was able to get back into his car and was driven to a nearby gas station, but he later died there.
In your morning headlines, NFL teams across the country are planning to honor Demar Hamlin today.
That's right. Hamlin suffered a scary injury on Monday Night Football last week, but today the league is ready to show love and support him, his family, and the first responders who saved his life.
That's right. Kimberly Richardson has the details from Buffalo, New York.
The Buffalo Bills getting ready to take the field this afternoon, less than 1 week after safety Demar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest during Monday night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. His teammates will be wearing a number 3 patch on their uniforms to honor Hamlin as he continues his recovery. The 24-year-old surprising his fellow players, making a virtual appearance during Friday's team meeting.
And when he came on the screen, to see the players' reaction, they stood up right away and clapped for him.
Demar posting on his Instagram Saturday afternoon, thanking everyone and writing, quote, "The love has been overwhelming." Head coach Sean McDermott being commended for how he's helped his team get through this past week.
He was a perfect man in that situation to handle that type of situation. I can't say enough about what he did, what he said to us in the locker room.
Throughout the weekend, tributes across the league, an outline of his number 3 on the 30-yard line of each NFL field.
Demar Hamlin's recovery has made everybody feel amazing. We also got a lesson that we can take with us in the future on how we can all come together and be united.
During the game, the Bills will also pay tribute to those first responders who the NFL commissioner has credited with saving Demar's life.
The medical personnel on the field who flawlessly executed an emergency action plan that likely saved Demar's life.
Kimberly Richardson, ABC News, Buffalo.
And support for Demar continues to pour in through his Tory Drive fundraiser. He had hoped to raise $2,500. So far, donations from players, teams, and fans have exceeded $8 million.
So good to hear. So good to hear.
I know.
Right, folks, it's 6:06. Temperature is 55 degrees outside.
Well, there's a lot still ahead on GMSA, including a big game for the Cowboys as they head into the playoffs. We'll look at what's up for grabs before 6:30.
And up next, Spurs were back in action against the Celtics last night. We'll have all the highlights and what to look forward to as they're playing next.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. 55 degrees, completely different this morning without that humidity. A lot cooler and lower humidity. Sarah Spivey is back and she will let us know how long this low humidity and cooler temps will stick around for.
Former Spur Derek White was back in town Saturday with the Boston Celtics visiting the Silver and Black at the AT&T Center. After a rough start for the home team, the Spurs trailed by 3 to end the first quarter, but the Celtics scored 35 points in the second quarter, and they head into the break with a 68-57 lead. In the third quarter, Spurs battled their way back into the game, trailing 93-89 heading into the fourth, and they tied it up at 116 with 40 seconds left. The Spurs had a chance to tie or take the lead, but don't make it. A great effort comes up short, and San Antonio falls to Boston 121-116.
They were in the finals last year. They know what to do in those moments. So for us to go out there and really give us ourselves a chance to win up until, I don't know what it was, 20 or 30 seconds left in that game, even when we were down early, that says a lot about our growth, I feel like. And hopefully in the future we can have that late push and get the win against a good team like that.
So looking ahead, the Spurs are off today before hitting the road to Memphis. They'll face the Grizzlies Monday night. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m.
Go Spurs, go.
That's right.
And Sarah, it was so nice to walk outside this morning and be like, oh, the humidity. It's no
Definitely
longer
felt
here.
a difference this morning compared to yesterday.
Absolutely. The one thing, and this was expected for us not to get much rain, but I wish we could have seen some more rain here in San Antonio. Overnight, all of that rain fell southeast of San Antonio. Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar right now. As you can see around San Antonio, it is quiet. However, there are a group of showers and thunderstorms that are pushing south. In fact, there's a team of thunderstorms that just moved from the bottom of DeWitt County to over here. It started from the bottom and now the whole team is over here, just northeast of Victoria. You can see that we've got some flashes of lightning for us out there in Victoria. There's really only a few potential for like some small hail east of Victoria, but that's where most of the heavier rainfall activity is right now. And again, around San Antonio, it is quiet. However, quite a bit of rain fell southeast of San Antonio. Let me show you some of the rainfall amounts across the ranch lands in Wilson, DeWitt, and Lavaca counties. Take a look at that. In parts of Karnes County, Over 5 inches of rain fell there across the ranchlands. Just south of Floresville near Poth, nearly an inch of rain, and just to the northwest of Yorktown, about 3 inches of rain. So there were some areas that got some good rain, but as you can see, nothing around San Antonio. And when we look at the drought monitor, it really is very disappointing that no rain fell over this bullseye of exceptional drought in northwest Bexar County, into Kendall County, and into Comal County. In fact, areas from San Antonio up to Boerne in extreme to exceptional drought. And we really don't see much improvement. Where you're really experiencing the drought and seeing it in a way is Medina Lake Reservoir. It's only 6% full. It's 80 feet below the conservation pool, and in a year, we've seen it go down 33 feet. Medina Lake Reservoir in desperate need for rain hasn't been that low since 2014, 2015. And when we look at rain chances over the next few days, not great. Only a stray shower possible Monday and Thursday, but chance for rain is only 10%. So again, not good. But as Sarah was talking about, we do have some nice dry air moving in. Dew points have fallen into the 30s there, right toward the middle of our scale. You can see it's still pretty humid in Corpus Christi and Houston as that front is starting to move through. And outside right now, partly cloudy skies, 55 degrees. Skies are clearing as we speak. And so today, unlike yesterday, we're going to see an abundance of sunshine. Here's a look at the satellite and temperatures. Just some high thin cirrus clouds out across the hill country. That's going to be continuing to push on off to the south. It's 46 in Kerrville, 45 in Rock Springs, 55 in Del Rio, 60 in Pleasanton. Let me take you through the futurecast again. That front is going to continue to push south. By mid-morning, all of us around South Central Texas going to be done with any kind of rain and starting to see some sunshine. By about lunch, total sunshine around San Antonio. We will see some clouds work their way back in later on tonight, and in the overnight hours, it will become mostly cloudy ahead of your Monday. So just in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, 50s early this morning, diminishing rain chances by 10. It's going to be near 60 degrees, 66 around noon. It's also going to be breezy at times. We'll have winds from the northeast, 10 to 15, perhaps a gust up to 20 miles per hour. But look at this afternoon, 72 and sunny. Yeah, that's warmer than average by about 10 degrees, but still a beautiful day with low humidity. In your neighborhood, it'll be 71 in Del Rio, 71 in Hondo, 71 in Pleasanton, 68 in Canyon Lake, 68 in Kerrville in the Hill Country, 73 in Cotulla, and 71 in Laredo. As we take a look at your 7-day forecast, a little bit more cloud cover tomorrow, starting off in the 40s and topping off in the upper 60s. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, warmer. 75 on Tuesday, 78 on Wednesday. A dry, cool front moves through on Wednesday night into Thursday. Unfortunately, not bringing us much rain, but bringing things back down to seasonable. We'll be looking at temperatures in the 60s with plenty of sunshine as we round out the week. I'll be talking a little bit more about that cold front coming up in the next half hour of GMSA. But again, I wish we could squeeze out some more rain, guys.
I know.
But at least the weather's going to be really nice.
We have the sunshine to look forward to, but yes, we could use the rain.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Time is 6:16. Temperature is 54 degrees.
Still to come, this weekend's warm weather helped the Schertz family YMCA put on a successful polar bear plunge. We'll hear from those who hit the water. There it is before 6:30.
And one of UIW's greatest players is bringing home the hardware with a huge win over a major award. That's next after the break.
Oh, I completely forgot to play Powerball. All right.
It's up to
it's all up. It's all big jackpots. Pick 3, 876 Fireball 7, Daily 4, 0238 Fireball 2.
Cash 5, those numbers are 4, 7, 21, 26, 32. Texas Lotto, those lucky numbers are 1, 15, 16, 30, 49, and 51.
Powerball 35, 36, 44, 45, 67, Powerball 14, Power Play 3.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
This morning, we're 1 week away from the NFL playoffs, and there's a lot on the line for the Cowboys this afternoon.
That's right. Let's go Cowboys. After winning their last 2 games, they still have a chance to win the NFC East. So a Cowboys win and an Eagles loss would clinch the 2nd straight division title for the boys, and with a little extra help, they could even earn the #1 overall seed, of course. The first thing they have to do is beat Washington, who's been eliminated from the playoffs. Head coach Mike McCarthy was asked if he was concerned about the Commanders playing a little riskier now that they have nothing to lose. Here's what he said.
Definitely, but let's be honest. Ron has always been aggressive with fourth down decisions. I mean, he's probably one of the first ones to go that route. So it's only going to help us because any type of stressful situation that's created in Sunday's game, obviously it gives us a chance to compete and win in that particular situation, but also it gives us more experience. So yeah, I hope they do.
So it's the Cowboys against the Commanders with an opportunity to win the NFC East. As Sarah mentioned, that will depend on what happens with the Eagles and 49ers this week. Kickoff is set for 3:25 at FedEx Field in D.C.
Let's go Cowboys. All right, before we go to the break, a big congratulations to Lindsey Scott Jr., the UIW quarterback, was named the FCS Offensive Player of the Year and won the Walter Payton Award, which is similar to the Heisman Trophy. Scott finished with 71 total touchdowns, 60 passing, 11 rushing, and he threw for 4,600 passing yards. And of course, he led the Cardinals to their deepest playoff run in school history. Way to go.
Super cool. Time is 6:22, 54 degrees.
We'll be right back.
This year's Cold for a Cause polar bear plunge saw temperatures a lot warmer this weekend than they were expecting.
And organizers hope the donations would match. The fundraiser is put on by the Shirts Family YMCA. The money will go towards their Open Doors Scholarship Program, which allows families or individuals to participate in YMCA programs regardless of their financial situation. So even if the water was warm or maybe a little cold, those who jumped in say it was worth it.
It was cold. Last year was worse.
So each person who participated gave at least a $20 donation. It's always cold. Water is always cold to me unless it's like 100 degrees outside.
Right.
And then it's like bath water. But good for them.
So I'm taking you wouldn't have done the polar plunge.
I've never been I've done it one time and I got sick afterwards. I was like, no. But I did like a real one, like in the ocean.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I think I would do it.
To raise money, yes.
But not for fun.
Not for fun, no.
All right, folks, time is 6:26 at 54 degrees.
There's a lot more to come on GMSA at 6:30, including something most young adults aren't thinking about. We're talking stress and how you can handle it in a healthy way.
Plus, KSAT's John Paul Barajas is at the southern border in El Paso ahead of a visit from President Joe Biden. We've got the preview coming up next.
Good morning. It's 6:30 on this Sunday, January 8th. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's right. And Sarah, I know you went on a hike yesterday. How was that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so upset. So I drove an hour to Guadalupe State River Park. I got there, it was closed. There was a sign that said, "So we're sorry, we're closed for a private hunt until January 9th. So we went to another trail that was 30 minutes away. It was okay.
And how was the weather?
It was nice. It was warm though, Sarah, and I dressed warm. I don't know why. I was in long sleeves and I was sweating and gross.
Warm and cloudy too, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't see too much sun. Well, today we're going to have an abundance of sunshine. Yesterday was pretty cloudy, but a front has moved through in the overnight hours, and you can see that there's still some showers that are falling across parts of southeastern Texas near Victoria. But even that rain is pushing out of Lavaca County. All of us across the KSAT 12 viewing area going to be done with the rain. As expected here in San Antonio, not much rain fell in the overnight hours, but we are reaping the benefits of a drier air mass in place. It's chilly this morning. It's 48 in Boerne, 49 in Bandera, 45 in Kerrville, 55 in San Antonio, 53 in Seguin, and 56 in Devine. Here's what we're going to talk about in the forecast. Today, abundant sunshine, low humidity, and in the 70s. A wonderful way to round out the weekend. Tomorrow, a few more clouds. It'll be cooler and in the 60s. And for the rest of the week, in the week ahead, we're really going to have quiet weather, but there is going to be a midweek cold front that'll shake things up a little bit for us. I'll have a look at that front coming up in just a bit. Jonathan, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Now to a top story we've been following this weekend. President Biden is preparing for a visit to the Texas-Mexico border in El Paso.
It's a strange mix of emotions. On one hand, the president is finally making a visit to the Texas-Mexico border to see what the people who live here have to deal with on a daily basis. On the other hand, people living here helping the migrants are frustrated that new immigration policies were announced prior to the visit. Meanwhile, migrants who have already gotten here are grateful but scared of what's next. The situation at the border is being met with an outpouring of community support in El Paso. Every helping hand is needed for the overwhelming number of migrants arriving at the Texas-Mexico border at a record pace. Orlando Coronil tells us lots of people didn't make it here. They had an accident, they lost their life. Lots of kids lost their life too. Elby Mendoza says it's traumatic. It brings you a little bit of adrenaline, and then you're left in shock because you don't even know how you're standing here. He thinks it's because of the power of God. At Sacred Heart Church, there's parked buses added for shelter. Various organizations and people drop off food, as well as donate covers and clothes. ¿Sabes quién es los Dallas Cowboys? Actually, I don't, but it represents America, and I'm not American, but being here makes me feel good, explained Mendoza. Unfortunately for him and others, their stay might be short-lived. The Biden administration announcing they plan to expel 30,000 migrants a month, coming in unlawfully from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela under Title 42, which limits the number of migrants who can seek asylum.
Give these migrants that are already here a pathway, a solution. Process them.
Fernando Garcia with the Border Network for Human Rights in El Paso is furious, saying President Biden is just expanding on Title 42, a Trump-era policy. The White House answered similar criticism, stating their policy differs by also allowing 30,000 migrants to apply for work visas per month from those same 4 countries.
You need to apply online first. You need to find a phone. You need to get a passport. If you had money, you need to have a relative in the United States. Then we can potentially grant asylum. You know, by then, probably going to be killed.
For the migrants, the president's new policy and arrival is worrisome. Coronil saying it would be devastating to send us back because why have I spent 4 months traveling, being without food and work? Others are hoping POTUS will support their dreams of a better life. Mendoza asking for Joe Biden to put his hand on his heart. That's the only thing he's asking. Once the president does get here, not much has been announced on what all he plans to do while in El Paso. We do know he'll be here for about 3 hours before he heads over to Mexico, where he plans to meet with the Mexican president and the Canadian prime minister for the North American Leaders Summit. On the border in El Paso, for GMSA, John Paul Barajas.
John Paul, thank you. Excellent coverage. Now to some other top stories we've been covering. At least 1 person was killed and 57 others were injured after 2 subway trains collided in Mexico City. 1 woman died and dozens of other people were taken to nearby hospitals. The Associated Press reports 4 people were trapped in the wreckage, including 1 train driver who was reported in serious condition.
The search continues for a mother in Massachusetts who vanished on New Year's Day. 39-year-old Anna Walsh has been missing for almost a week. For now, local and state police say they're focusing on areas near her home. Authorities say Walsh was supposed to fly from Boston to Washington, D.C. last week for her job, but there's no evidence she ever boarded a flight. A state police chopper was seen hovering over the search area as investigators supervise the draining of the family home pool. Police have also set up a tip website.
And police in North Carolina are investigating a suspect murder-suicide that claimed the lives of 5 people. Now, officers were called to a home in High Point in the central part of the state after responding to reports of people screaming for help. When police arrived, they found signs of forced entry into the home, and once inside, found the bodies of 2 adults and 3 children. Police say there's no ongoing threat to the community.
Looking ahead, NFL teams across the country are planning to honor Demar Hamlin today. Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest on Monday night football last week. The league is also honoring the first responders who saved his life. His teammates will be wearing the number 3 patch on their uniforms as he continues his recovery. And all weekend, teams across the league have an outline of his number 3 on the 30-yard line of each field. Back here at home, Texas lawmakers will head to Austin this week for the 88th legislative session starting Tuesday. They will decide what to do with nearly $30 billion in surplus budget. So Governor Greg Abbott is asking for property tax relief. Local lawmakers say education, including school debt, teacher pay, mental health, and health care should be priorities. As bills get filed, we'll get a better idea on what's being put at the forefront of this session.
And how did this building burn down? That's the question San Antonio fire investigators are asking after what looks like an abandoned building caught on fire overnight.
Alyssa Cole is on the city's east side where it happened. Good morning, Alyssa. What do we know so far?
That's exactly right, Sarah and Jonathan. Well, first of all, I'm here on the 800th block of New Braunfels, right near I-35. A lot of you are actually familiar with this area with the construction going on between the freeway and East Houston. But I'm going to take a step aside so you can see exactly what happened here. Take a look at this building. When firefighters arrived at this location just before 2 o'clock this morning, this entire building was engulfed in flames. Crews moved quickly to keep the fire from spreading to nearby homes in this residential area and small business area as well. Now, we haven't confirmed yet if the building is abandoned, but this must have come across suspicious to investigators because they made a call to the arson team to do some investigating. Now, no word yet on what the investigators found, but we do know once we get those details, we will keep you updated online and in our later newscast. You can read those details on KSAT.com. Jonathan, Sarah.
Thank you, Alyssa. Well, now time is 6:37, 54 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, a U.S. airline is offering free flights for people who adopt a cat. We'll look at the deal and what it has to do with Las Vegas.
Plus, stress is something most young adults aren't thinking about. We're mostly feeling it, but we'll look at how we can all handle it in a healthy way after the break.
54 degrees at 6:38 this morning. Beautiful shot of downtown San Antonio there. Everyone enjoying the low humidity and cooler temps for the next couple of days. Sarah Spivey will have our forecast when we come back. After years of hard work and dedication, new college graduates are entering the workforce with high hopes for the future.
That's right, but as inflation rates rise and persons' work resumes, many are experiencing higher stress levels than expected.
ABC's M. Nguyen brings us their stories and tells us about a new research method called proactive coping that could help ease anxiety.
Post-undergrad, I was not expecting it to be that difficult. Like, I didn't take it into account.
Between a global pandemic and an economic crisis, young adults say they're stressed.
Inflation and everything, it just seems more and more daunting.
While only some experts believe the country is already in a recession, a lot of Americans have experienced financial woes in recent years. Inflation reached 9.1% in 2022, the highest yearly increase in over 40 years.
The cost of housing is rising. Education payments are rising, food, like all sorts of stuff, but we aren't seeing salaries and wages rise.
Adding to the uncertainty, an unstable job market making finding work even more challenging.
We're attempting to enter the career field at a very weird, unique, unstable time.
The COVID-19 pandemic also increasing social anxiety. Lockdowns caused many college grads to finish school virtually, with many entering the workforce in person, adding to their stress levels.
It can be really intimidating to then try to go into a space that I've never seen or never been in before.
Young adults are at a place in their lives where they're constantly encountering new stressors and they're trying to figure out what the best strategies are to deal with them.
Psychology professor Siobhan Newpert recently analyzed 2 separate studies on proactive coping steps one can take to avoid future stressors or prepare for stressful events before they occur. These include saving money for unexpected expenses, visualizing how to deal with potential challenges, or thinking about what you need to do in order to be successful.
We found that the younger adults who really tended to do a lot of proactive coping, they did not experience as much of the physical consequences of those stressors. They were able to remain more physically healthy.
However, both studies found it had no effect on older adults, suggesting it is beneficial to begin practicing proactive coping at a younger age. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
It gets better.
It always gets better.
If I could tell my younger self, it's gonna be okay. Enjoy your life.
Yeah, I think when you're young, you feel everything at 100%.
Yeah, you feel the weight of the world.
Yes.
That's exactly right. You really do feel the weight of the world. But hey, days are temporary. Things get better. So just hang in there.
Yeah, I need Jonathan to record like a positive, like reinforcement
it's also
podcast.
his voice. It's like it's so soothing.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
Jonathan, do you want to do the weather?
I'll try.
Okay. No, hey, we did have some storminess southeast of San Antonio in the overnight hours. You know, if you were out and about last night pretty late and you looked south from San Antonio, I'm sure you saw some lightning there. But most of this rain has pushed on off to the south and to the east. There are parts of south central Texas that saw up to an inch to 5 inches of rain, mainly across parts of Karnes County, DeWitt County, and out toward Lavaca County. But most of that rain now is moving into Victoria County, just to the north of Port Lavaca, some lightning. This is all ahead of that cold front that moved through overnight too. It's why it feels very pleasant outside. Low humidity and on the cool side, but we are still seeing some of the heavier rain just north of Port Lavaca and north of Wharton. It's started to stop raining out across parts of Lavaca County as well right now. So again, not really looking at any more rain around south central Texas. There was a shower that just moved through Cuero that's pushed on off to the east, and it is quiet here in San Antonio. And I wish we saw some more rain, but it was expected that we would in large part miss out on the healthier rain here around the Alamo City. A wider view, you can see that there's a little bit of sliver of rainfall up near Austin, but that's about it for us. We're actually starting to see some stars before the sun rises here, just north of the, above the airport there. You could see a couple of stars. It's 55 degrees outside. Skies are starting to clear. Humidity is coming down. Dew points are in the 30s and winds are from the north at about 10 miles per hour. Let's talk a little bit about our weather setup. Again, you can see just how stormy it is across the Gulf of Mexico, out toward Houston and in parts of Louisiana. That's where that front is. It's continuing to push to the south and to the east through parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and into Georgia as well. And then meanwhile, on the other side of the nation, continuing to see flooding risks for parts of the Pacific Northwest. In California, there's a big storm system working its way across that state and really not seeing much of letting up over the next couple of days for them. A lot of rainfall expected across the Bay Area. Meanwhile, back here in San Antonio, again, drier air is filtering in from the north behind that front, and so it's going to be a really pleasant day with low humidity and abundant sunshine. Outside right now, it's 46 in Kerrville, 55 in Del Rio, 54 in New Braunfels, 58 in Pleasanton. Well, a closer look around San Antonio. Good morning in Seguin. It's 53 degrees, 56 in Divine, upper 40s across the hill country. So you definitely need that light jacket early this morning. But here's what we've got in your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Mostly cloudy skies early this morning as temperatures end up right before sunrise getting to the low 50s. And then right around 10, we'll start to really see clearing skies by noon. It's going to be sunny and 66. And in the afternoon, sunny and 72 for the high temperature in San Antonio. A beautiful day all across south central Texas. Our average high temperature this time of year is 63. So we're still going to be some 8 to 10 degrees above the average. It'll be 71 Port SA area, 71 at Stinson, 68 in Boerne, 68 in Bulverde, 71 in New Braunfels, 71 in Uvalde, and 74 in Divine. Let me take you through the futurecast over the next few days. Although we're going to see abundant sunshine today, those clouds are going to be back early tomorrow morning. So by tomorrow morning, it'll be 48, cool, mostly cloudy in San Antonio. As you're heading out for your morning commute, you're going to want that light jacket. Then it's going to be a fairly cloudy day tomorrow. Hard to shake the clouds. It'll be mostly cloudy and 68, so cooler than today, but still warmer than average. Then throughout Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll slowly start to see some Gulf moisture work its way back in. So much so that by Wednesday afternoon, you'll feel a little of the humidity out there, and it's going to be warmer too, 78 degrees for the high. So close to 80 degrees on Wednesday. Before it can get too warm, though, another cold front is expected to move through. But look at this. Once again, San Antonio left out on the rain. It's just going to become drier and more seasonable behind that front with a high temperature in the 60s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. No significant rainfall for us in the forecast. You know, this is typical for January, yes, to not see that much rain. But what really makes it difficult is that last year was our second driest year on record. So we're starting this year with exceptional drought, and January is acting like January. Not much rain and a little bit on the cooler side.
Well, hopefully February will bring in some rain, because I know we definitely need it. And you were mentioning Lake Medina, or Medina Lake, and those levels are just
6.2% full. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the pictures that come out of there are pretty devastating to see how dry it is.
It was sad. During my hike yesterday, a lot of the water areas, we were like hiking over just what used to be water. That's dried up, no longer there.
Yeah.
That's really sad to see. Well, folks, time is 6:49, temperature 54 degrees.
Up next, Christmas has come and gone, and families are trying to figure out ways to get rid of their Christmas trees. Why some are turning to animals for a little help.
And taking a look outside around San Antonio, smooth sailing. No one is out and about. So if you're planning to get your Sunday started, now's a good time to leave the house.
Let's take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 8, 7, 6, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 0, 2, 3, 8, Fireball 2.
Cash 5. Those lucky numbers are 4, 7, 21, 26, 32. Texas Lotto 1, 15, 16, 30, 49, and 51.
Powerball 35, 36, 44, 45, 67. Powerball is 14. Power Play is 3. Good luck. Well, Christmas has come and gone, but some families are still figuring out ways to get rid of their Christmas trees.
That's right. One Michigan farmer has stepped up to help, and some of his animals are glad he did. Brett Field says his goats munch on trees throughout the day. He opened his farm to be a drop-off site for anyone to get rid of their Christmas trees. Field says it's healthy for the goats, and what's left behind they chop up later. So last year they got about 100 trees. This year he expects to reach that number again, if not exceed it.
Good way to recycle. So this morning, a U.S. airline has a deal for you. Adopt a kitten and get a free flight. So Frontier Airlines is offering free flight vouchers to people who adopt one of 3 kittens from the Las Vegas Animal Foundation. If an adopter steps up to take home Delta or Spirit, they'll get 2 vouchers worth $250, a total of $500 per pet parent. The person who adopts a kitten named Frontier gets 4 flight vouchers for a total value of $1,000. So the vouchers are good to use through the end of this year. The 3 kittens are a couple weeks old. They'll be adoption ready once they hit 6 weeks old.
Oh, if I wasn't allergic to cats, I would definitely adopt
so
them.
Precious.
Time is 6:54, temperature 54 degrees.
Here's what's coming up at 7 on Good Morning America.
Good Sunday morning to you. Coming up here on GMA, millions under flood alerts this morning due to that atmospheric river unrelenting on the West Coast, bringing heavy rain, winds, and snowstorms to parts of California. More on the power outages and severe threats. Our weather team has the latest. Also coming up, what we're learning about the urgent search for a missing Pennsylvania mother after reportedly failing to pick up her son from a bus stop. Where the investigation into her disappearance stands. Plus, why now? Yep, right now, maybe the best time to save on airfare for your next vacation and some advice on where you could go. You don't want to miss that. It's all ahead here on GMA.
Right now on KSAT.com, the new year brings in a new effort to help the San Antonio Food Bank. Workforce Solutions Alamo is accepting donations at all 16 of its career centers through the end of the month. So if you want to help, you can check out all the details right now on KSAT.com.
Take a look at the sunrise happening right now outside. Beautiful to see the sunshine. It is a little chilly though. It's 54 degrees in San Antonio. Winds are from the northeast at about 10 miles per hour. Humidity is lower. It feels great outside right now. And today, look at how beautiful the forecast is for the day today. It'll be 66 at noon, 72 for the high temperature, mostly sunny skies. Winds from the northeast, a little breezy. So I wonder what that's going to do to the mountain cedar count. We'll have that pollen count a little later for you in the morning when our allergist sends it in. Otherwise, take a look at the forecast. Cool tomorrow morning, but a little bit more cloud cover, 68 for the high. And we'll start a warming trend through Wednesday, close to 80 degrees. Another front arrives, but this one will be dry. We don't anticipate much rain with this. Highs will be in the mid 60s for the remainder of the week after that front moves through and into the weekend. Still not seeing an Arctic cold front in our future. It looks like that one that happened near Christmas is going to be the strongest front so far.
But it could still happen again just because it's warming up outside. We can still get another cold snap.
Still got February to go through.
Don't put the jackets away. Keep them out and handy.
Yep, we still got February to go through. Y'all know how February can be for us.
We know. Thank you, Sarah. Hey, we'll see you guys back here at 8 a.m.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio.
We are monitoring President Biden's visit to El Paso today. Our KSAT team will be out live tonight, and right now we will hear from an immigration professor who breaks down President Biden's immigration parole plan that he is expected to discuss.
Today, the Buffalo Bills are back on the field, and the entire NFL community is sending them their support. Buffalo Bills safety Demar Hamlin continues to recover. We'll look at what the league has planned for later today.
And taking a look at San Antonio, the sun is starting to make its way out. It's looking beautiful. It's 52 degrees. We'll be checking in with Sarah to see how today will play out.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. Sunday, January 8th. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I hope everyone has a nice warm cup of coffee or tea in their hands on the couch with a blanket.
Nicely bundled up.
That's what I want to be.
Enjoying the morning. It's the best way to start the day. So thank you for tuning in and being with us.
And Sarah, this morning it's beautiful. Yesterday was like soupy and muggy, cloudy outside.
Yeah.
The sun's out and we have lower humidity.
This is a welcome change for us, isn't it? A nice sunny start to the day, and today is going to end up being beautiful. Now, as expected, most of the rain last night was southeast of San Antonio. You can see now that we're really starting to see any kind of rain across south central Texas dwindle down as drier air is moving in from the north. It feels amazing outside right now. Beautiful sunshine to start the day. 52 degrees. It's cool, but the average low this time of year is in the 40s, so it's even a little bit warmer than how we usually start a January day. Winds are from the north at about 15 miles per hour, so just a touch breezy too. Today's going to be great. Get some time outdoors if you can, and if you're not too allergic to the mountain cedar. Around noon, it'll be 66, 72 for the high temperature. Again, just a little breezy with gusts from the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Hey, coming up, we're going to talk about another cold front that's in our future this week. Hope you'll tune around for that in just a bit. Jonathan, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. In just a few hours, President Biden will land at the International Airport in El Paso, visiting the Texas-Mexico border for the first time. As president, he plans to meet with local officials and leaders to see what people have to deal with on a daily basis.
During his visit, he also plans to discuss new border enforcement measures. GMSA reporter Alyssa Cole joins us live. Alyssa, you spoke with an immigration law professor who says Biden's new policies could have devastating effects.
Yes, that's exactly right. We know the Department of Homeland Security announced a new parole process, turning away migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela if they cross the border illegally from Mexico. Now, instead, DHS will accept 30,000 people from those four countries a month to offer them an opportunity to work legally. Now, we spoke with St. Mary's University clinical law professor Erica Schomer, and she says the parole process fails to meet the U.S.'s criteria for asylum under the Refugee Convention.
Anybody who makes it to our soil and has a genuine fear of return would be allowed to follow through with that process. It does not seem like that is going to be the case.
Now, whether migrants are seeking asylum or not, they'll have to apply for asylum from their home countries. And according to DHS, this process is part of the preparation to end Title 42. So once Title 42 is no longer in place, this means federal agents will have to carry out a safe and orderly process at ports of entry. Back to you all at the desk.
Thank you, Alyssa. Now to some top stories we've been following this morning. Bexar County deputies are looking for a suspect accused of shooting and killing two people on the county's west side. Deputies responded to the scene Friday night around 9:30 on Calle Fincias. This is near Highway 90 and WT Montgomery. The two victims were found shot and both died at the scene. BCSO officials identify them as a 24-year-old man and a 38-year-old woman. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call BCSO at 210-335-6000.
Well, there's new information on a stabbing from last night. A 41-year-old man is dead. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. The stabbing happened after 8:30 p.m. on North Pine Street. That's not far from North Hackberry Street and I-35 frontage road. San Antonio police say the victim was in a car with three others when an argument broke out. Police say two of the men got out and started fighting. The victim was stabbed in the chest. He was able to get back into the vehicle and was driven to a nearby gas station where he later died at the scene.
And now to the latest on Buffalo Bills player Demar Hamlin. Today, the NFL Players Association expected to share a prayer for Hamlin and the entire NFL community.
ABC's Kimberly Richardson has more on Hamlin's condition and the football community's support.
The Buffalo Bills getting ready to take the field this afternoon, less than 1 week after safety Demar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest during Monday night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. His teammates will be wearing a number 3 patch on their uniforms to honor Hamlin as he continues his recovery. The 24-year-old surprising his fellow players, making a virtual appearance during Friday's team meeting.
And when he came on the screen, to see the players' reaction, they stood up right away and clapped for him.
Demar posting on his Instagram Saturday afternoon, thanking everyone and writing, quote, "The love has been overwhelming." Head coach Sean McDermott being commended for how he's helped his team get through this past week.
He was a perfect man in that situation to handle that type of situation. I can't say enough about what he did, what he said to us in the locker room.
Throughout the weekend, tributes across the league, an outline of his number 3 on the 30-yard line of each NFL field.
Demar Hamlin's recovery has made everybody feel amazing. We also got a lesson that we can take with us in the future on how we can all come together and be united.
During the game, the Bills will also pay tribute to those first responders who the NFL commissioner has credited with saving Demar's life.
The medical personnel on the field who flawlessly executed an emergency action plan that likely saved Demar's life.
Kimberly Richardson, ABC News, Buffalo.
All right, let's take a look at some trending stories on KSAT.com. A comet that has not been seen since the Ice Age will be visible in the northern hemisphere this month on the 12th and will be closest to Earth on February 2nd. That's according to NASA. The comet will be visible in the morning sky as it moves swiftly towards the northwest. Space.com says the comet has a period of 50,000 years, which indicates that the last time this comet came close to Earth was during the Paleolithic period, otherwise known as the Old Stone Age.
From lights out in space to lights here on Earth, if you haven't had a chance to check out the Lightscape at the San Antonio Botanical Garden, this is the last day to do so. So tickets are also discounted and must be purchased in advance on their website. The discounted ticket prices are $75 for 2 adults and 2 children with free off-site parking and $45 for 2 adults.
And time is 8:07. Temperature is 52 degrees.
Stress, anxiety, and fear of the unknown. That's what many young adults are feeling, especially recent college graduates. Next, how one method could help ease all that anxiety.
And taking a look outside San Antonio, you're looking beautiful this morning. A little chilly, but we'll be checking in with Sarah to learn how the day will play out and if you need to wear a sweater or a light jacket. After years of hard work and dedication, new college graduates are entering the workforce with high hopes for the future. But as inflation rates rise, many are experiencing higher stress levels than expected.
ABC's M. Nguyen brings us their stories and tells us about a newly researched method called proactive coping that may help ease anxiety.
Post-undergrad, I was not expecting it to be that difficult. Like, I didn't take it into account.
Between a global pandemic and an economic crisis, young adults say they're stressed.
Inflation and everything, it just seems more and more daunting.
While only some experts believe the country is already in a recession, a lot of Americans have experienced financial woes in recent years. Inflation reached 9.1% in 2022, the highest yearly increase in over 40 years.
The cost of housing is rising. Education payments are rising, food, like all sorts of stuff, but we aren't seeing salaries and wages rise.
Adding to the uncertainty, an unstable job market making finding work even more challenging.
We're attempting to enter the career field at a very weird, unique, unstable time.
The COVID-19 pandemic also increasing social anxiety. Lockdowns caused many college grads to finish school virtually, with many entering the workforce in person, adding to their stress levels.
It can be really intimidating to then try to go into a space that I've never seen or never been in before.
Young adults are at a place in their lives where they're constantly encountering new stressors and they're trying to figure out what the best strategies are to deal with them.
Psychology professor Siobhan Newpert recently analyzed 2 separate studies on proactive coping steps one can take to avoid future stressors or prepare for stressful events before they occur. These include saving money for unexpected expenses, visualizing how to deal with potential challenges, or thinking about what you need to do in order to be successful.
And we found that the younger adults who really tended to do a lot of proactive coping, they did not experience as much of the physical consequences of those stressors. They were able to remain more physically healthy.
However, both studies found it had no effect on older adults, suggesting it is beneficial to begin practicing proactive coping at a younger age. Emwin, ABC News, Washington.
Jonathan and I were just talking, Sarah. We graduated during the recession of 2008. During that time, hey, it's all going to be okay.
It's all going to be great.
You go through those, and then you finally look back at your 20s being like, man, we got through it.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
The adversity makes you stronger, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes. Character.
Now, tell that to the drought, because we have extreme and exceptional drought out there in San Antonio. And as expected, most of the healthy rain last night was southeast of San Antonio. This is a loop of the past 6 hours. You can see some healthy thunderstorms that fell across parts of Wilson, Atascosa, DeWitt, Karnes County. And as we take a look at the rainfall amounts, again, very heavy rainfall fell in pockets around south central Texas. So in parts of Karnes County right there, you've got a bullseye in northern Karnes County. That's where up to 5 inches of radar estimated rain fell. From Pleasanton to Poth, just south of Pleasanton to Poth, about ½ an inch of rain fell in the overnight hours. About 3 inches of rain fell just north of Yorktown in DeWitt County. Cuero got about ½ an inch of rain. And as we look toward Lavaca County and Gonzales County, southern Gonzales County ranchlands got about 3 inches of rain, about 5 inches of rain southeast of Moulton there in Lavaca County. So some ranchlands got some much needed rain, but once again, it was dry here in San Antonio as largely expected around the Alamo City. And that is unfortunate when you look at the drought monitor. Bullseye of extreme and exceptional drought right around San Antonio, up toward Helotes and Bernie to Canyon Lake and New Braunfels, as well as Comfort and Bandera. These are the areas that desperately need rain. Also close to the recharge zone of the aquifer. A lot of this land falls on that recharge zone of the aquifer, and also Medina Lake Reservoir there. And as you know, if you have been out in that area, Medina Lake Reservoir is very dry. It's only 6% full, 80 feet below the conservation pool. In just a year, we've seen Medina Lake go down 33 feet. So desperate need of rain in those bullseye areas. And unfortunately, rain chances are not looking good for the week ahead. We may have a stray shower Monday and Thursday, but it does not look good for us for rain. And that is typical of January. You know, January is one of our drier months, but since we had such a dry year last year, we're definitely in a deficit. Now, that front did move through late last night. It's pushed some much drier air in. Dew points are in the 30s right now. It feels great outside in spite of the fact that we didn't get any rain. It feels wonderful. 52 outside right now with winds from the north at about 13 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour. We could have a few wind gusts of up to 20 miles per hour, and skies are clearing as we speak. Here's a look at the satellite and the temperatures. You can see that clouds are continuing to push to the south and to the east. It's a chilly 44 in Kerrville. Good morning in Rock Springs. It's 41 degrees, 47 in Del Rio, 55 in Pleasanton, and 51 in New Braunfels. That cool front's going to continue to push south into the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have mostly sunny skies today as early as 10 o'clock. And then by the evening, we'll see clouds return, high thin cirrus clouds return. And then overnight, some of those mid-level clouds will work their way back in. And it's actually going to be fairly cloudy to start your Monday tomorrow morning. So soak up the sunshine today if you can, because tomorrow will be a mostly cloudy day. As we look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast for the day today, near 60 degrees at 10, 66 around noon. So if you're planning a Sunday brunch, it's going to feel great outside. Northeast winds today at 5 to 15. Again, few gusts of up to 20 are possible. 72 for the high temperature, and in the early evening it'll be cool but not necessarily cold. Temperatures will fall into the 60s after sunset. In your neighborhood, it'll be 71 in Hondo, 71 in Pleasanton, 71 in Crescent Springs. In the Hill Country, upper 60s are a good bet. 68 in Kerrville, 68 Canyon Lake in the Bernie area as well, and up toward Austin about 68 degrees. So as I mentioned, tomorrow a little bit more cloud cover, 48 to start the day, 68 for the high temperature tomorrow. So cooler, still warmer than seasonably average. Tuesday and Wednesday, we see a warm up. It'll be near 80 degrees on Wednesday. But before it can get too warm, another cool front is expected to arrive Wednesday night into Thursday. This will not be an Arctic front. It will not bring rain, but it will cool us down to more seasonable with mornings in the 40s, afternoons in the 60s. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that cold front and parts of Texas that will get rain from that front coming up in the next half hour.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Time is 8:18, 52 degrees.
Looking for ways to exercise and stay healthy this year? Something as simple as a treadmill may help you reach any goals. You have to stay fit. Still ahead, what new research is showing about treadmills in the U.S.
Beauty company L'Oreal is finding ways to make beauty more inclusive through new technology. Coming up, what they're saying about a new device they unveiled and what makes it so special.
Just look like a handheld thing to hold your makeup. I don't know. I'm intrigued now. All right, let's take a look at these lottery numbers. Pick 3, 8, 7, 6, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 0, 2, 3, 8, Fireball 2.
All right, grab your tickets, cash 5. Those lucky numbers are 4, 7, 21, 26, and 32. Texas Lotto 1, 15, 16, 30, 49, and 51.
Powerball 35, 36, 44, 45, 67, Powerball 14, Power Play 3. Good luck. Beauty company L'Oreal has a new device that allows people with limited hand and arm mobility to apply lipstick. So the device, called Hapta, just rolled out at a consumer electronics show this weekend in Las Vegas. L'Oreal calls it the world's first handheld computerized makeup applicator. The device's technology includes real-time sensors and motion controls with custom attachments and high-level that help stabilize and level the lipstick when it is brought closer to the mouth. The user has the ability to rotate the lipstick tube 360 degrees. L'Oreal says the new technology is aimed at making beauty more inclusive.
With the new year underway, now may be the time to supercharge your exercise routine if you haven't done so already. New research shows that a treadmill can help you get there. So treadmills hold a spot on the top 3 of most popular pieces of equipment at U.S. health clubs. An industry research group says more than 50 million people were using them in 2017. So exercise experts say utilizing the several features of treadmills can help burn those calories a bit faster. So to get a good workout in on a treadmill, consider turning up the speed to change your pace or using the incline feature to go steeper.
Do you like going on the treadmill?
I do, but I'd rather hit the trail.
Right.
Get that fresh air.
I get bored because I want to see things, not just, the people next to me or whatever, the gym,
Also, that lipstick technology seems interesting.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I don't know. I'd be afraid to use it.
Send us in your thoughts.
Okay. It's 8:25 and 52 degrees.
So you might have seen this viral TikTok video showing dogs getting picked up at other houses and getting onto a bus. Well, still ahead, the owner and operator of the doggy bus talks about which pups already know their assigned seats, including one who gets in the driver's seat every once in a while.
Oh my gosh, I follow them on Instagram. So cute. Okay, millions of AT&T customers will soon not be able to dial 411 for directory assistance. Why the company is deciding to make this change, still ahead.
Good morning, San Antonio. I'm Jonathan Cotto.
And I'm Sarah Costa. It's Sunday, January 8th. Yesterday, Jonathan, I'm keeping you accountable. You said that you were to do dry January. Has it started yet?
It unofficially started at the start of the year because I haven't had a drink. And I think I'm going to hang in there. I'm not a big drinker, so
I am so proud of you.
And I tried a cycle class too, which was super fun. So Again, unofficially starting some resolutions there. I think we're off to a good start.
I'm living vicariously through all of your resolutions because I'm doing none of those things, Sarah Spivey. But hey, today's a great day to get outside.
Absolutely is. You know, other than the Mount Cedar being high and it being in the middle of Mount Cedar season, it's going to be sunny and dry and comfortable outside. Take a look out there right now with live cam. Beautiful skies clearing right now as we speak. 52 degrees, north winds at about 15 miles per hour. Dew points are low in the 30s, and that is really pleasant after that front that moved through last night. It's 46 in Boerne, 49 in Bulverde, 44 in Comfort, 44 in Kerrville. Good morning in Seguin. It's 51 degrees, 55 in Castroville, 55 in Devine, and 53 in Gonzales. So, yeah, today's going to be a beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine with low humidity. Temperatures are eventually going to get into the low 70s. Tomorrow, though, we'll have some more clouds. It'll be cooler, and temperatures will be in the 60s. But in the week ahead, even though the weather will be quiet, we do expect a midweek cold front that's going to shake things up a bit. More on that cold front coming up in a bit. I'll have a look at your forecast over the next few days. Sarah and Max.
Oh, Jonathan.
It's okay. It's okay. We all miss Max. Thank you, Sarah. Well, now to a top story we've been following this weekend. President Biden is preparing for a visit to the Texas-Mexico border in El Paso.
KSAT's John Paul Barrassas is in El Paso and brings us the latest on what we can expect to happen later today.
It's a strange mix of emotions. On one hand, the president is finally making a visit to the Texas-Mexico border to see what the people who live here have to deal with on a daily basis. On the other hand, people living here helping the migrants are frustrated that new immigration policies were announced prior to the visit. Meanwhile, migrants who have already gotten here are grateful but scared of what's next. The situation at the border is being met with an outpouring of community support in El Paso. Every helping hand is needed for the overwhelming number of migrants arriving at the Texas-Mexico border at a record pace. Orlando Coronil tells us lots of people didn't make it here. They had an accident, they lost their life. Lots of kids lost their life too. Elby Mendoza says it's traumatic. It brings you a little bit of adrenaline, and then you're left in shock because you don't even know how you're standing here. He thinks it's because of the power of God. At Sacred Heart Church, there's parked buses added for shelter. Various organizations and people drop off food, as well as donate covers and clothes. Actually, I don't, but it represents America, and I'm not American, but being here makes me feel good, explained Mendoza. Unfortunately for him and others, their stay might be short-lived. The Biden administration announcing they plan to expel 30,000 migrants a month, coming in unlawfully from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela under Title 42, which limits the number of migrants who can seek asylum.
Give these migrants that are already here a pathway, a solution. Process them.
Fernando Garcia with the Border Network for Human Rights in El Paso is furious, saying President Biden is just expanding on Title 42, a Trump-era policy. The White House answered similar criticism, stating their policy differs by also allowing 30,000 migrants to apply for work visas per month from those same 4 countries.
You need to apply online first. You need to find a phone. You need to get a passport. If you had money, you need to have a relative in the United States. Then we can potentially grant asylum. You know, by then probably gonna be killed.
For the migrants, the president's new policy and arrival is worrisome. Coronil saying it would be devastating to send us back because why have I spent 4 months traveling, being without food and work? Others are hoping POTUS will support their dreams of a better life. Mendoza asking for Joe Biden to put his hand on his heart. That's the only thing he's asking. Once the president does get here, not much has been announced on what all he plans to do while in El Paso. We do know he'll be here for about 3 hours before he heads over to Mexico, where he plans to meet with the Mexican president and the Canadian Prime Minister for the North American Leaders Summit. On the border in El Paso, for GMSA, John Paul Barrassas.
At least 40 people are dead and dozens injured after a bus crash in central Senegal. That's according to a tweet their president sent out. Now, a bus had a punctured tire and veered across the road, colliding into another bus coming from the opposite direction. 3 days of mourning starting Monday has been declared by their president.
A trial is set to begin for an Army lieutenant who is suing police over a traffic stop. So video of the incident getting millions of views and highlighting fears of mistreatment among black drivers.
ABC's Edwin Lopez tells us a bit more.
Get out of the car now!
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
This morning, the Virginia traffic stop that drew nationwide attention just one day away from trial.
Get out. Please relax. Get out of the car right now.
Second Lieutenant Karan Nazario filed a civil federal lawsuit against officers for this 2020 incident.
Why am I being treated like this?
When two police officers were shown drawing their guns and pepper spraying him after he did not exit the vehicle.
I didn't do anything. Whoa, hold on. What's going on? Hold on.
Police say they pulled him over for not having a visible rear license plate. Here, you can see he had a temporary one taped to the back of his SUV. Nazario's suit says he was assaulted, falsely imprisoned, and had his car illegally searched.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I ask you what's going on?
What we're going to see at trial is the defense is going to put forth the training, that fact that he did not exit the vehicle.
The Windsor police announced back in 2021 that they had fired Joe Gutierrez, one of the officers involved, for not following department policy during the incident. In a court filing, the officers denied the allegations against them. And in response to one of the allegations, Officer Crocker's legal team said in the filing that contact with Nazario was, quote, within justifiable bounds in performance of his duties as a law enforcement officer.
And Nazario was not charged in that incident. In that police report, one of the officers writing that the lieutenant was eluding police when he didn't stop right away. Nazario stating that he wanted to pull over in a well-lit area. Of course, all of this will play out in a courtroom on Monday. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
Well, the state of Colorado announcing it will stop busing migrants to Chicago and New York. That's according to a press release from the governor's office. The last busload of migrants will arrive in New York today. As of January 4th, nearly 36,000 asylum seekers entered New York City's emergency intake system. Chicago received more than 3,800 from Texas alone.
And two people are dead this morning after a small plane crashed near Suffolk, Virginia. The crash sparked a brush fire that threatened homes in that area. The fire spread across 35 acres. It took several hours, but firefighters were able to get the fire under control. Authorities have not yet released the names of the pilot and passenger. The cause of the crash is under investigation.
The operator is no longer on the line for millions of AT&T customers. The telecommunications company says starting this month, customers with digital landlines will no longer be able to dial 411 or 0 to get direct assistance. So a big key component to this decision that AT&T found was that nearly all customers now have access to the internet to find what they need. So people with home phone landlines can still access operators. In less than 24 hours, crews will wrap up bridge repairs on the city's north side. Those repairs have put a delay in many people's commutes.
GMSA's Alyssa Cole joins us live from Loop 1604 Frontage Road area. Alyssa, what should people know driving through that part of town today?
Yes, good morning. Well, if you do plan on driving northeast, you want to keep in mind that North 281 1604 East Loop Ramp will be closed throughout the day. And you want to go ahead and take a look at that Gold Canyon 1604 bridge there. We got a chance to talk with some of the construction workers, and they say they're doing some work on that bridge for safety, maintenance, and preparation for future projects. They anticipate to be done with that bridge by noon. Of course, they're asking people to drive slow through this area and take an alternative route if possible. Some of you were probably stuck in that bottleneck traffic yesterday there at the 1604 East Lamp Roof and some of the access roads here. And they're telling us you can't anticipate that ramp 1604 East Loop to be closed throughout the day and reopen Monday after 5 a.m. Back to you all.
Alyssa, thank you. I was in that traffic yesterday. Not fun, but again, open tomorrow at 5 in the morning.
That's right. For the meantime, everyone just please drive safely. Time is 8:39, 52 degrees.
Well, dogs and buses. A video of dogs getting onto a bus and finding their assigned seat. Yes, they know where they're sitting. Went viral on TikTok, coming up the reactions all over social media and the couple behind the doggy bus operation.
That is just too cute. Can't get enough of it. Well, taking a look outside with live cam, San Antonio is looking gorgeous right now. It's 52 degrees. It's a little chilly, but of course, we're going to be checking in with Sarah to learn how the weather will play out for the rest of the day and the week.
Finally, after 15 votes, a new speaker. How will the bidder fight to get there shape his leadership and the new Congress? And right as the president makes his first visit to the border, the Secretary of Homeland Security faces George. Exclusive Sunday morning on ABC's This Week.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. You may or may not enjoy traveling by bus, but we have the story of a bus that you'll probably love, and that's because it's not just for people, it's for pups.
I love this so much. So CNN's Jeannie Moos reports on the doggy bus after a TikTok went viral showing how disciplined they were knowing their assigned seats.
Good morning, Bama.
It definitely isn't a Greyhound bus, but there are hounds in it.
Good morning, Jake.
Nothing but dogs jumping into their assigned seats attached to leashes rather than seat belts, picking up waiting passengers with wagging tails.
Good morning, Amaru. Would you like a complimentary liver with your bus ride?
Nobody said no.
Jake. Dasher. Gumbo.
This bus is better than an airline.
Excuse you, you already had yours.
The doggy bus
Load up.
is operated by Mo Mountain Mutts in tiny Skagway, Alaska. It's a husband and wife team offering dog training and dog walking. Do the dogs know their own seat?
Most of them do. The new puppies don't. They'll try to just jump in any seat available until we shuffle them back into the licky puppy corner.
The licky puppy corner? They're practically necking in the back of the bus as they ride to outings.
Yarrow, notice are tangled.
The bus offers the potential for entanglements, but when we watch them disembark...
Jake, Amaru, Odie, go ahead.
They were better behaved than a busload of kids.
I can't tell you how many of these dogs were monsters before I started working with them.
That's Mo Thompson's own little monster chiming in. Oh, sure, some of the passengers are rule breakers.
Excuse me, ma'am, your tail is in the aisle. Ma'am, you're gonna have to adjust your butt. Thank you.
But there's one seat that's off limits.
Who's honking the horn? Bama!
Bama's ready to trade her dog license for a driver's license.
Excuse me, ma'am, you're not driving. Get out of my seat.
Jeannie Moos, CNN.
Hello, everyone.
New York.
The licky puppy corner, that's where it's at.
I
love
they're
it.
like they're necking in the back.
Sarah, you've got two dogs, Scooby and Sister.
They know. It's funny when like I said, load up is their command and get into the car.
They know.
And they have their sides of the car.
Oh my goodness,
They
really?
know.
They
yeah,
know.
because
Road trip.
yeah, road
Love
trip.
it.
Yeah, Scooby gets the dominant window, and then Sister will just be like, okay,
Sister gets the leftovers.
Yeah, whatever. She's happy wherever.
You know what? Speaking of leftovers, I wish we could have some of that leftover rain for areas southeast of San Antonio. But some folks did get some good rain southeast of San Antonio. This is a loop of the past 6 hours there. You can see healthy rainfall southeast in parts of Wilson, Carnes, Gonzales, DeWitt County, even down to Victoria as well. As we look at radar estimates in the last 12 hours or so, both Floresville area, even down to Pleasanton, about ½ an inch of rain. But you look out into parts of Carnes County, the northern tier of Carnes County, about 5 inches of radar estimated rain in a pocket there. Led to some flash flood warnings in some places. Just north of Yorktown, about 3 inches of rain. In areas in Lavaca County, about ½ an inch near Hallettsville, but nearly 5 inches near Moulton, and south of Gonzales in Gonzales County, about 3½ inches of rain. But very quiet around San Antonio. All of that rain falling where, honestly, I mean, rain across rangelands is good, but those areas southeast of San Antonio don't need the rain as bad as those of us around San Antonio, where we're experiencing extreme and exceptional drought. All of that was from a front that has since moved through, and you can see that has brought very nice weather out there. This is a shot at the airport right now. Clear skies, beautiful, low humidity, temperatures in the low 50s right now, but we'll quickly be seeing that warm up. 52 degrees outside with winds from the north at about 15 miles miles per hour. In the weather setup across the state of Texas, all that rain starting to push out. There's the front right now pushing into the Gulf of Mexico. It's still bringing rainfall toward Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And while the rain is exiting Texas, we're seeing too much of rainfall across parts of the Pacific Northwest. Today, just the start of a round of days where heavy rain is expected across the Bay Area, across parts of California, likely going to be leading to flash flooding, mudslides, those kinds of things. We're not going to be impacted by that system. Instead, here in Texas, we've just got dry air moving into place. That's why it feels so pleasant outside. That's where we're seeing sunshine. As we take a look at the satellite and temperatures, it's chilly in Kerrville right now. It's 46 degrees, 43 in Rock Springs, and 47 in Del Rio. As we zoom into San Antonio, you can see that skies are almost completely starting to clear around San Antonio. We'll have sunny skies for the remainder of the day. Right now, though, it's 49 in Bulverde, 53 at Port SA, and 51 in New Braunfels. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Clearing skies right now. By 10, we'll be near 60, and then right around noon, 66. So if you have Sunday brunch plans, get that seat outside. It's going to feel great outside. Temperatures are going to climb to about 72 this afternoon around San Antonio. And in the evening, we'll see some clouds work their way back in, but it's going to be a pretty mild, cool evening out there. By 8, we'll still be at 60 degrees. So only a light jacket if you're planning on heading out later on this evening. Our average high this time of year is 63. So in spite of the fact that that front moved through, high temperatures today are going to be warmer than average. It'll be 68 in Boerne and Bulverde, as well as in Helotes, 68 in Kerrville, 74 in Devine, 71 at Stinson, 68 in Seguin, and 75 in Nixon Smiley. Showing you the futurecast right now because today will be sunny, but very quickly in the overnight hours, we're going to see clouds work their way back in. Tomorrow morning, 48 degrees, mostly cloudy skies as you get your work week, your school week going. Early tomorrow, you'll need a heavier jacket, but by the afternoon, 68 for the high temperature. Should be mostly cloudy. It's going to be hard for us to get rid of those clouds. There could be a few showers across the coastal bend, but here in San Antonio, we'll stay rain-free. Now, as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, eventually some humidity is going to work its way back in from the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll have some Gulf moisture work its way in. By Wednesday afternoon, near 80 degrees. So we're going to go from the 60s on Monday to near 80 degrees on Wednesday. It will be warmer, but before it can get too warm, another cold front is expected to arrive. And unfortunately, we are not going to see much rain, if any, at all from this front. Take a look at the futurecast. You can see that most of the rain goes up toward East Texas and parts of the Mississippi River Valley. This looks to be yet another dry cold front in San Antonio. 65 degrees and seasonable, though, for the remainder of the week. So this time of year, cold fronts, it's difficult to squeeze out rain from cold fronts because we see just about weekly, at least a cool front move through. And so as you can see outside right now, it's nice and dry. By the time that front moves through on Wednesday night into Thursday, the atmosphere doesn't have enough time to really get back into seeing more moisture. So that's why we expect another dry cold front Wednesday night into Thursday. No significant rain to talk about, unfortunately, but at least the weather is pleasant. By the way, we have yet to get the pollen count in, but as soon as we do, I'll put that on KSAT.com.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of rain right now. So what I've been doing, even though a lot of our plants look like they're dead, doesn't mean that they're dead. You know, they're still alive. The roots are still there. Make sure you're watering at least once a week if you do want them to come back in the spring.
That is great advice. They're just hibernating.
They just sleep. They're dormant. You know, they're deserving some much good time off.
I'm hearing this advice a little bit too late. I just tossed out a plant yesterday. So.
Jonathan, it's okay. I've killed a lot of plants in my time.
No judgment.
No judgment. All right, 8:51, 52 degrees.
Emojis, GIFs, animations. What's your favorite? Tomorrow on GMSA, we'll tell you what your emoji of choice can say about you.
Huh, interesting.
Well, ask and you shall receive. We just got the pollen count in. Mountain cedar is high today. It's past 9,000, but this is down from yesterday. Yesterday was past 12,000. And molds are down too. Molds yesterday were moderate. They're low today at 450. Mountain cedar season starts to peak around this time of year before eventually dwindling by Valentine's Day. Now today will be up to 72 degrees with beautiful sunny skies and low humidity. Clouds will be back tomorrow tomorrow, starting off in the 40s, topping off in the 60s. We start a warming trend Tuesday and Wednesday into the mid to upper 70s. And then another front moves through, this one being a dry cold front, but it'll bring us back to more seasonable average. Our average high this time of year is the low 60s. So that's how we'll end the week.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank y'all. It was a pleasure.
Have a great Sunday. Remember, go Cowboys.